You are talking about the nonsensical ravings of a lunatic mind. Dead is dead.
But look at what has been done with hearts and kidneys.
Hearts and kidneys are tinker toys. I'm talking about the central nervous system.
But, sir...
I am a scientist, not a philosopher. You have more chance of reanimating this scalpel than you have of mending a broken nervous system.
But what about your grandfather's work, sir?
My grandfather's work was doo-doo!
Hey guys, and welcome to the Quadcopter review. Today we got a quick giveaway video. I'm going to show you a little bit of what we got. We've got the Airblade Super 75X, and we're going to be putting on the camera that would be on the Mobula 7. We got some spare parts there with that one. We're going to be using the Crazy Bee F3 version. It's FR Sky. It's just a spare I had as well. And we also are going to use some of those Beta FPV 2S batteries, because this is going to be a 2S build, and I'm also using the Beta FPV 1103 11,000 kV motors, also a spare set I had around, hence the Frankenstein build. So we're just going to put all this stuff together and make ourselves a little carbon fiber 75mm off of those parts that we have and see what it comes with. Not much soldering to do. We got a little bit of soldering to do as far as connecting the camera to the board and putting our power leads onto that. I'm going to use a XT30 so I can use my XT30 batteries that I have laying around all over the place. But let's go ahead and pull all this stuff out of the way right quick, because I have a second one to give away. So if you're not familiar on how to get into my giveaways, what you're going to do is put one comment only on this video. Don't forget to share, like, all that good stuff with this as well. And one comment will get you entered into it, and I'll give this guy away on the 15th of March. So let's go ahead and just throw in some quick build video, starting off by just getting our XT30 connected. And we'll lay out our frame, get our Beta FPV motors ready to go, get our little screws that come along with it, and they are long enough to do this build. There's nothing special needed there. So we'll get our screws ready, check out our motors, and something to know about these motors are there are no counterclockwise or clockwise versions, as you might see in some of the other smaller motors that will have different wiring sets. You'll see all these wiring colors are the same, and that is because we can connect them anywhere and go into our BL Heli suite and then change the direction of our motors the way we want them to go. Now, I'm not going to run this props out because, again, there's just too many problems with that, so I'll run them props in. So let's go ahead and get all these guys on there right quick in speed motion, and then we can start doing some work on the board. Now, looking at this Crazy Bee F3, I would have preferred to go on with the F4, but I had an F3 just because it's kind of older from back when I got it. But if you take the USB, flip it over, you're going to see right here is our positive and negative for adding our power lead to our battery connector. So I'm going to have to solder right there for those to get our battery on. Do a little pre-tinning, then we'll pre-tin our board up right quick. Working on small boards because it sucks, but in the end you can get it done. In the meantime, I also pre-tinned when we're going to go ahead and add our camera and where we're going to add our smart audio. So we go ahead and solder on our positive and negative, and then we're going to go ahead and solder on our camera. And if we go ahead and look at that here, you're going to want to tin those areas up. You're going to have camera in, camera out, positive and negative. And then on your camera, you're going to want camera out to go into camera in on the board, and camera out on the board to camera in on the camera. And then smart audio is going to be off a little bit forward toward yourself right now. And I'll show you that here one second, what we're going to solder onto for that one. So as we zoom in here, you'll see that green wire that you end up soldering to RX, I believe it was 3, and it is the second pad out. Now I'm using a smoke stopper I got from Get FPV, really cheap and handy to make sure when you go to bring this to life it works.
Life, do you hear me? Give my creation life!
Now with green lights across the board, we know we are not going to burn anything up, and like I said, really cheap at Get FPV and worth it. You can get them XT30, XT60. But as you can see, everything is good to go here. Lights wise, we'll check it out on our goggles and make sure we can see through the camera, see our OSD, etc. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put the board inside the frame. Now I did run into one issue with this board, and I'm having some signal issues where I can't fly very far away from myself without it dropping off. I tried D8, I tried D16. I'm going to try to solder the antenna back on, but maybe I just got a goofy board. This was a spare board, so it could have just been a bad board.
Would you mind telling me whose brain I did put in?
And you won't be angry?
I will not be angry.
Abby someone.
Abby someone. Abby who?
Abby normal.
I never had that problem with my Mobula 7 at all, so it's got to be something weird causing it, but it did kind of monkey with the flight footage. You'll see I couldn't really take it too far. I had to kind of keep it close to me in order to get the good flight footage we want to see. But let's go ahead and get the bolts that come along with the package, the standoffs, get all that on the frame, and then we'll place the board on top of there, get that all set on, mount up our B-Brain V2 camera holder there, and I did have to ream the holes out for that a little bit so they'd slide onto these bolts, but not a big deal. Typical FrankenBuild stuff. So here you go. This is what she looks like when we're all done without the props on it. We got our camera on there. We got everything set up. I'll put it on beta flight, and then I will put it on to BL Heli, get the motors turning the right way, get her all set up, and then we'll get her outside and get her flying. Now the thing with this kit, you don't have to FrankenBuild. You can actually, it was designed for a direct switchover from your Beta 75X here onto the carbon fiber frame, so you can take all the parts that come on your Beta 75X and just put it right there on the frame. Before we take it out, once again, had a little range problem with that antenna, and I had to try to get the flight in pretty quickly because rains were coming, and you know, I didn't want to have the quad get ruined by any of the rain going on and fighting the antenna at the same time. I got you some footage so you can see mostly what's going on.
Could be worse.
How?
Could be raining.
So armed and ready, let's check out the maiden flight on this one. Very fast, very powerful, 75X if you're familiar with those, powerful little parts and motors. Difference, of course, on ours being that Crazy Bee flight controller. But otherwise, you know, I'm pretty pleased with it. As you can see, it's got tons of speed, plenty of punch for acro, do plenty of tricks with this guy. I was a bit limited, as I mentioned a few hundred times now, just to the range. You can see there that I'm at 35%, even that close to myself. So we'll figure out what that problem is, and then we'll get that all fixed, and I'll be, you know, I'm sure more pleased with the outcome of this. But once again, you can use your 75X and just make a straight switch over to it and run it that way. You don't have to FrankenBuild it like I did, but definitely got all the power in the world. I like the camera a lot better than the CMOS cameras out there. As you can see, I'm not dealing with all my colors turning pink and stuff as it tries to transition the color and stuff. I'd rather just have a CCD camera personally, and never quite understood what Andy RC said about that until a good 6-8 months into the hobby, and then I was like, I totally get what he's saying. These cameras are just outperform the CMOS cameras. This is only a 700 TVL, and I like it better than 1200 TVL CMOS cameras. So just my personal opinion, but yeah, good flyer. So if you want to win a frame, don't forget, one comment only in this video. Share and like. Happy flying. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by and checking out the Quadcopter review. If you want to see more interesting reviews on FPV related stuff, take a look up here in the old right corner right there. You'll find links to all the rest of my reviews. If you want to get in on some of the best giveaways on YouTube, look over here. Don't forget to subscribe right here on my chin. And if you want to check out my flying only videos separated from the review channel, check that out right here. Thanks for coming. Don't forget to subscribe, and happy flying.